I'm ready to tackle one of the last big items on my list to get ready for a coming school year. So we're going to be resetting my teacher binder today. So I have my binder. I got a big pile of papers that I printed off earlier, so you don't have to watch me just print things because that's pretty boring. And I have my coffee. So I think we are ready to get started. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. So, welcome if you are new here. Welcome if you're not as well. But if you are new, I'm a young homeschooling mom of 3. I'm also a homeschool graduate. My kids will be in first grade and kindergarten this year, and my littlest one may be joining us for some easy hands-on stuff just to keep him busy. But he will not be in actual preschool. I've been doing kind of a video series. The last 3 videos, just taking you along as I do some of my preparation or end of the year, like putting the way of stuff and preparing for the coming school year. So this is my final one in that series. If you're interested in the other 2, I did one on how I sort through and store our records for the last school year. I also did one resetting my homeschool cart. So you can check those out. I'll link those if you're interested. But today we are going to be resetting my homeschool teacher binder. Now, to clarify, this is not my planner. I have a planner. I haven't showed you inside it as I've done it, but I just recently did a flip through of the planner itself. So if you're interested in seeing what I use for a homeschool planner, I will link that below. This is my teacher binder. You will see what this is because I'm going to fill it with you here and kind of show you what goes in. So it's me doing a job I need to do, which is resetting this, but at the same time taking you along and letting you see what I put in this and what I keep in here just as useful for me throughout the year. So I think, without a lot more talking, I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to let you see what I'm doing as I'm doing it and kind of explain the pages as they go in so you can see what I have. All right, guys, here we go. We're going to start. As I go along, please let me know if you have any questions on any of the papers that I pull in, anything you want me to elaborate on further. I'd be happy to answer any comments. So please comment below and let me know. But what I'm going to start with is I'm going to take out these old covers and we're going to put in a new one for the 2025-2026 school year. Doesn't have to be, but it makes it feel just a little bit more new when I can change out the cover and have something fresh for the year. So we've got that made up for me, and then we're going to kind of jump right in. I do also have my handy dandy 3-hole punch because I am going to need it. But we're going to start by taking stuff out. In the front here, I normally put items that are curriculum related. So let's see if I can show you here. So I have this education kit from KidSmarts. It's a kids safety little course thing that we're going to be doing this year. So I'm going to take this manual and I'm going to hole punch this and stick it in here. I also stick in these papers which belong to our Bible curriculum. These are not the teacher manual, but there's some additional stories and I don't want to say extracurricular, what's the word? There are additional resources that go along with. So anything that's kind of like a teacher's manual-esque type of stuff or goes along with my teacher's manual, I try to put that in the very front just so that I can access it super, super easy. So we'll stick that one front because that is a daily thing, and then we'll do these. And what I'm going to do with this as well is I'm going to, on these ones, take why I have these here, one of these tabs, so that it's easy for me to find where I am. And I do have this as an erasable pen, so if I want to change this up, what's on these labels or use them for something else, I can. But these come off and on really easy, but that will make it so that when I'm here, I can see where kind of my next manual is. So last year I had next to my resources and corrections pages. And I think I am going to leave these here, but I'm going to change this page out for one that matches my cover because I like things to match when I can. So I just went onto Canva and made these paper images. So there is that. And these ones I'm going to leave in here. I have a list of Socratic questions if I want to go and use these with my literature reading, these questions that we can engage in conversation. And then I have a corrections. So this is our math and any errors that they've caught but haven't reprinted with so that I can know when there's a mistake. I find that it's good to look at some of that. And then in here, what do I have? So this goes with some of the older curriculum we were using. This is a book list from All About Reading just for me to reference. I don't think I need that in here anymore. What I will put in here, though, if I have it, yeah, I think I printed this out. So where did I put it? I think it's back here. Aha, here we go. Is I printed out some of these first day of school papers to do with the kids, and then some end of the school year to do with the kids. So I will put these in here just to have them on hand when we're ready to do those, because I think they're just kind of fun to do and then add into their records. Oops, where did I go? Okay, let's do that. And then this one, I'm actually going to change the place of these next two. I had my planning pages next, but I don't reference these as often as I thought I would. Once I get into the swing of things, um, I kind of do it by memory. So I'm going to leave these for reference, but I'm not going to put them in the front. Next, I'm going to do our logs and assessment, which I actually found that I referenced a whole lot more, oddly enough. So tracking and assessments. And the reason I think I use this a whole lot more is throughout the year, and I'll show you what I mean by this as I go. But throughout the year, I have these tables of contents that I print out for each of my children's subjects. And I mark them as we go as kind of a record of where we are and what we've completed throughout the year. And then I don't have all of them in here because I add them to my files, like I showed in my video a while ago, as kind of a record of this is what we've done. And I've highlighted everything that we've completed. So what I've done to do that, and I don't remember who I got this idea from. It was from another YouTuber, I'm pretty sure. So I'm sorry that I'm not giving credit where credit is due, but I don't 100% remember where I got that from. But basically, what I've done is I've printed off the table of contents for each of their subjects. And then we just highlight it as we complete it. So I find that that's kind of the simplest. So what I need to do is divide this between my two daughters, which ones are which. Family subjects, I put in both of theirs just because then it goes into both of their records at the end of the year. So I'm going to divide these into two piles, and then I'll put them in the order I want. And then we'll actually add them in. So this will be my kindergartners pile, and then this will be my first graders pile here on the right. All right. So I think I'm going to do my kindergartners subjects first, and we will just take a tab and put it here, and I can fill out whose this is. No, I'll just do. No, that's not what I want. You know, we'll just leave it like that now. And then I guess I shouldn't have put that on because I don't know if that's going to be the first one. I'm trying to think. I think I'm going to put our family subjects in the back and then their individual subjects in the front, just because I think that makes sense. And I'm going to probably just try to do it in the order that we kind of do our school day, or no, I'll probably do it by type. So I'm going to put math and logic up front. And then we'll do geography next, I suppose. And then this is for my older daughter already. So let's take this out of here. We'll add that to hers in a minute. And this is for my younger daughter. So yeah, so this will be her next one here. And then I'll go into her language arts stuff. And then behind her language arts, handwriting, we'll do her Bible, her history, her science. So oops, let's keep that in there. Science, and then our nature log stuff. So that's kind of the order I'm going to put hers in. So then that will be daughter A, daughter B, mark here. And we'll put her in, but I've got to sort her stuff as well. And then basically, as we're doing things, I'll just take highlighters every so many weeks and highlight where we've reached. Okay, since this is my assessment tracking and assessment tabs, I picked up this document, How to Evaluate Your Child's Reading Level, and I am still um, doing some reading with my younger daughter. So I'm going to leave this in here because it's just a good reference for me. I also have some assessment um, documents for just tracking roughly where they're supposed to be by the end of the year. So we have, I'm going to leave these in here. Kindergarten learning objectives. So this would be her current year. And what I've done is I've marked in one color at the start of the year what she can do. And then at the end of this year for my kindergartner, I'll go through and do it in a different color. So I can just see the progress that she's made. And then I have the learning objectives all the way through grade 3. And I have the same thing for my kindergartner next. So we're going to leave these in here. And I should probably, sorry for the awkward cut. There was some personal information in here and I didn't really want it on YouTube. So I removed that. But I had to make a kind of funny cut in the video as a result. But next, what we're going to put in here is these planning pages that I had mentioned. And last year, I tried to split it up by yearly and weekly. This year, I'm going to take out the old ones, but I'm just going to do a general planning page. I don't think I need yearly and weekly. I didn't end up using it, like I said, quite as frequently as I had thought I might. So I think just one to cover all bases is totally fine. Let's get that all the way in there. There we go. So that will be here. And so what I have to go in here is I've made myself a little bit of a list for me to do if I need reference. These are things that need to be prepped for the week. And these are things that I could do like the night before if I want to grab like certain materials. So I've made this list for myself. I've already also, and just going to block off the information up here, made a course of study for each of my children. So that is also going to be in here. So let's go ahead and put that here. And then I want to glance through the papers from last year and see if there's anything that I'm going to grab. I did this in my Finder this year. Course of study. Let's see what else is in here. I had some notes pages that I don't think I really need. And these are just some miscellaneous, like a guide to repeated reading that I thought was kind of an interesting one for young children. So just kind of reference pages for me in here. And then in the back here, I had some lists and charts that I created for myself. I might leave this in here. But let me close this first, I guess. I think I'm done adding actual pages in here. So in here, I created these weekly prep lists. So if I want to sit down and write everything that I need to get together, essentially, and I have some like actual paper copies, but I laminated this one so that I could use it kind of with a dry erase marker and read it. But the idea was that I could use this alongside this page. And as I'm going through and marking, books that I need to order, I could write everything down here and then take this away, not with a computer or book, and go over to my computer, sit on the couch and get together like the books, or just take this wherever I want to versus having to take my binder or my planner with me throughout the house. Just as a kind of one sheet. I didn't end up using it this year all that much, but I didn't have a lot of extra supplies to do. So I'm going to leave this in here and kind of see if I end up using this. Okay, so that is what goes into my teacher binder. We have curriculum stuffs, teacher resource materials. I have just extra materials in here, resources. I have my assessment and logs to track my kids' school throughout the year, and then the assessments in the back here. And then I just have some generic planning pages to help me out. And then in the very, very back, I do also leave this just blank paper because periodically throughout the school year, my kids have blank lined paper in their books as well, but sometimes I just need blank paper to do whatever I'm doing with it at the moment. So I leave that in there as well. But that's what goes into this. So yeah, hopefully that was all understandable. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. Like I said, please comment any questions you have below and I will try to get back to you. I can't believe we're almost ready to start the next year. I've got most of my stuff done in preparation for the school year, which is really great. Yeah, I'm feeling ready. Well, I'm feeling ready and prepared. I'm not really sure I'm feeling ready to take on the schedule of a whole school year. That is intimidating to me. Um, Getting into a rhythm is always. Last year it was really challenging for me, and so I anticipate that being a challenge again. But as far as the preparedness and projects wise, I'm feeling like I'm in a good place. So, with that, I'm going to wrap this up and we will see you guys again soon.